if you can use your assets as collateral instead of cash as a down payment, I would go that route. All day, every day. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what type of steps you need in order to get the bank approval process, and explain the two type of loans you can qualify for, and show you how any dentist can get approved for dental loans. But first, let's see why dentists get all the special treatments and not other businesses such as restaurants and bars. According to this website, it seems that 60% of restaurants fail within the first year of operation. Then there's that 80% that fail within the first 5 years. Okay, cool. Let's go check out the failure rate of the dental clinics. A simple Google search will tell you that a dental practice has less than 1% chance of failing. That's pretty dang good. So I did another search just to be sure. Henry Schein also confirms an extremely low failure rate of just 2.1%. So, congratulations! You're a nice juicy target for bankers, and that's a good thing. Being special in the eyes of the bankers allows us to get the loans we need to start our dental practices. I remember when I first started my journey, I didn't really know anything, so I just went to my banker and I said, I'm very confident and I'm ready to get a loan. But then the questions came up. So how long have you been working? Do you have any assets? Do you have any business plans? Do you have a pro forma? I could have pretended to know and fake it, but I was like, okay, you're gonna have to help me out on this. Thankfully, my banker that I still bank with today was super nice about it. She can see the burning desire that all dental entrepreneurs had. So now it's your turn. But before you go to the bank, let me share a few things with you. First, let's talk about pro forma. A pro forma is basically all the profits and losses that you're going to go through, and you will need 3 years worth of projections. Since you don't have any tangible numbers right now, you're gonna have to make some up for your scratch start. My banker helped me out, so hopefully yours will too. Next, we have sources and uses. So the sources portion will be the bank money plus your money, and the uses portion will be what you spend the money on. The bank will have a template for you to fill out. And finally, the bank will have their own checklist. This is a simple checklist that they have to make sure that you're able to get the loan. Stuff like tax EIN number and corporate documents and other stuff that they may need in order to get you your loan. Now, just FYI, it's gonna seem a little scary and it seems like it's a lot of things to do at first, but it's gonna get pretty easy. And just remember, these are all the steps that you need to do in order to get your loans. Part of the loan process is determining what style of loan you're going for. There's the SBA loan, which stands for Small Business Administration Loan, or alternatively, we have the conventional loan. They're both good, and I've used them both, but let me break it down so you know which one is good for you. But first, let's knock out the similarities. 1, they're both loans that you have to pay back. 2, they both require a down payment, say around 10 to 20%, or use collateral. And 3, they're both needing personal guarantees. Easy, right? Now, let's go to the differences. This chart from bankrate.com illustrates the differences quite well. You won't need to worry too much about the lending limits because the money that you need for your dental practice will definitely be much lower than the maximum that the banks give. Make sure you have good credit. One thing of note is that the timing is important for the SBA loan. Make sure that you are aware that it will take some time to be approved. They have stringent processes that you'll have to go through in order to receive the SBA loan. If you're a new grad, you're probably going to be in the SBA category. Why the SBA? Because the SBA will pay the banks a certain percentage if you default on your payments. So it's really a nice cushion for the banks. Whereas if the banks directly lend you money and you fail to pay them back, then they're on the hook completely. But here are my personal pro tips. Pro tip number 1, really doesn't matter which loan you get. In the end, getting your dream practice is worth a lot more than a couple percentage points here or there. Pro tip number 2, if I had a choice for both, then I would like to see which one has the lowest down payment and the interest as well. Pro tip number 3, if you can use your assets as collateral instead of cash as a down payment, I would go that route. All day, every day, cash in your account is vital. You must keep a good amount for a rainy day. Pro tip number 4, once you get approved for a dental business loan, ask for a lower interest rate before signing. This makes a huge difference in the long run. Trust me on this, I didn't know until I took on loans. Pro tip number 5, so you want to look around and shop for lower interest rates. I personally don't do that because I have a good relationship with my banker, but if you're just starting out, why not? It will save you in the long run. Pro tip number 6, When the government lowers its interest rates, renegotiate. I can tell you with 1000% certainty that I will do the same. One of my biggest regrets was not renegotiating rates during the COVID times when the rates were at an all-time low. In fact, click on the subscribe button and the bell button that says all. It will tell you when I release the videos. So when I renegotiate, I'm going to let you know as well. You know, I was speaking with a dentist about a year ago, and his story was that after practicing 4 years at a dental clinic as an associate, he decided to create his own dental practice. He created his own dental practice and it went super well in the beginning. He told me that the biggest problem for him was a combination of the patients not paying and embezzlement from his dental office manager. The IRS went to him and demanded payment. Now, the problem was he had a lot of money on paper, but he really didn't have money in his bank account. In short, he negotiated with the IRS and didn't go to jail, and that's a win in my book. But the other problem is that he could not get dental practice loans from the banks. So, the moral of the story? Well, there's lots. First is to keep an eye on the bank statements and also collect before treatments. Collecting before treatment is the biggest thing you must be doing. You don't just go to a restaurant and just eat and then say, okay, no, just please just put it on my tab and then I'll just go and then pay you back later. No, man, you're gonna be arrested. So why is it different for dental patients? I don't know. But collecting before treatment has been a fundamental change for me. But the point I'm trying to make is that if there's a will, there's a way. For example, anyone who's really good at dentistry but has a really bad credit cannot open a dental scratch start. Just plain and simple. But there is something called seller finance. So seller finance is basically buying a business or a property without a bank's involvement. So let's look at an example. Sally is a new dentist wanting to open a scratch start. She racked up a lot of debt and missed payments. In the eyes of the banker, Sally is a risk. Bankers cannot give Sally a loan for her dental practice. Does Sally quit? No. Sally's not a loser. Sally then goes to Clear Lake Dental and asks to own an existing dental practice. Clear Lake Dental has a dental office and decides, based on Sally's dentistry performance, she may be able to handle it. Clear Lake Dental accepts and Sally is the new owner. Sally's obligation is to pay whatever the sales agreement is until it's completely paid off. Once fully paid off, Sally is now the actual full owner of the dental practice. She didn't have to go to the bank to become an owner. The drawback is that if Sally doesn't pay off the loan, then Sally does not get to keep the dental practice. Good job, Sally. I'm proud of you. So now you have it. So there's the seller finance route and the bank loan route. Now, if you're determined to win, you will, no matter what route you take. But more importantly, in order to give your banker legit numbers for rent, you need to find a location. So watch this next video and I'll show you which tools I use and who I hire to find my next future dental locations.